You're listening to the Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It's another Monday night, and you're here with the architect of the Angry Marks Network, Big Dick, and myself, Angry Tensai. Big Dick, how you doing tonight?
Angry Tensai, Big Dick is having a rough night tonight. Not gonna lie.
Tell us what just happened.
You know what? Fantasy football, man. I'm on my way to the championship. I woke up Sunday morning. I had Julio Jones on the bench because of an injury. I had Ryan Matthews on the bench because of an injury. I had Mr. Jonathan Dwyer off my roster because he beat the piss out of his wife and kids. But needless to say, my team's overcome a lot of adversity this year, and we were primed to make the finals. Unfortunately, Mr. Cutler on the Chicago Bears played horribly. Don't just ask me, ask John Gruden. And he will tell you how Jason Cutler is not worthy of being an NFL quarterback.
Well, I'm very sorry that you were eliminated by 1.9 points out of your playoffs. But you know what? The show goes on. And although Julio Jones was on your bench, Brock Lesnar tonight was not on the WWE's bench. Wow, what a Raw tonight. We thought tonight Raw would be Jericho as he was tonight's guest GM. But let's just say he was overshadowed by the return of one Brock Lesnar. How'd you feel about tonight's show?
Raw definitely was Lesnar tonight, and I like it. Probably one of my favorite parts of the night was when he came out to confront Chris Jericho without the title. It was almost saying, hey, you know what? It's like, I haven't been around in 2 months. I haven't been heard from in 2 months, and I'm not even going to bother to bring the title. I'm just going to come out and kick some ass if need be.
Yeah, clearly. Brock definitely lost some weight tonight. Well, to set the stage for kind of what happened tonight, we found out at the beginning of the show Jericho was in fact the guest GM, and to start off the show, he talked about how he wanted to get back his Extreme Slammy award from Fandango, who took it in his absence tonight, and he wanted to confront Fandango right now to get his Slammy. Instead, he was met with Mr. Paul Heyman. And this was actually a cool confrontation because it was all about how Paul Heyman gave Chris Jericho his big break in ECW. And it was cool, the ECW references. And basically, Paul Heyman didn't really necessarily insult Jericho at first. He was just saying that he should be the GM, not only tonight, but permanently, because if anybody knows anything about Extreme, about booking, and about a great show, it's Paul Heyman, and he could bring that type of TV to Raw. If Chris Jericho wouldn't have it, he shared that Paul Heyman screwed him out of $200 out of a best of DVD. That led to Paul Heyman saying that really, you know what, Chris, he doesn't have time for him. He doesn't have time to want to fight with Chris Jericho. He wants to confront Seth Rollins for not getting the job done last night with John Cena. Seth Rollins comes out, and he wanted to crush Paul Heyman, but cooler heads prevailed. John Cena then came out, challenged Seth Rollins to a match, because Seth Rollins said that if they ever meet again, he'll beat him. And Chris Jericho, on the fly, decided to book not only Seth Rollins versus John Cena in a steel cage match tonight, but he booked Paul Heyman against himself in any match of our choice. Wow, what a good layout for the show. I guess we should just get right to it. When Paul Heyman had his match, it was an Extreme Rules match with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho comes out in full gear, Beck. Tell us what happens.
Well, you know what? Paul Heyman came out in a pair of sweatpants and matching sweatshirt. Some very nice attire. And sure enough, as you probably expected, this was a no holds bar match? That was the fans' choice vote on the WWE.
Yeah, that's right.
So sure enough, no holds bar. And as Paul Heyman's about to step in the ring, he offered to write Chris Jericho a check for $200 to make up for that amount that he previously screwed Chris Jericho out of. Chris Jericho wasn't having it. And unfortunately, that seemed to anger the Beast, Brock Lesnar, who came out to an absolutely huge pop. And the crowd was hot and heavy for Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I hear some rustling in your background.
I'm sorry. Those are tissues. I've had a rough night here. I've had a rough night, and I'm not talking about an E125 rough night where I need tissues. I'm talking about a fantasy football rough night.
Oh, I know.
It was painful. But anyway, so Brock Lesnar walks right down to the ring, circles the ring a little bit, does his big jump up to the ring apron there, and gets in the ring with Jericho. So they do a stare down. The crowd is absolutely enamored with this, which was cool. They're screaming, "This is awesome! This is awesome!" And Jericho tries to take a couple shots at Lesnar, tries to hit a codebreaker, and Lesnar actually stops the codebreaker, which I'm not sure. I've seen it knocked out of before a couple times, but this was sort of a different way of knocking out a codebreaker. He just sort of swatted him aside, pretty much pummeled him a little bit, F5 later, and he walked out of the ring.
Yeah. I thought he made Jericho kind of look like a biatch, don't you?
Yeah, but you know what? At this point, I mean, Jericho is sort of, I mean, he's putting people over. I mean, he's put Benango over at last year's WrestleMania.
But he was in full gear.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, he was trying to sell it as he was wrestling Heyman. And, yeah. I mean, shit, of all people who should be putting over somebody like Lesnar, Jericho's at the top of the list.
Yeah, Jericho had a bit of a tough night. I mean, even before that, when we were on the highlight reel, he brought Rusev down. He took the typical shtick of making fun of Lana. I do like that he said Rusev looks like a dirty cab driver, and Rusev didn't even blink or even look at him. I thought that was awesome of Rusev.
I think that might just be the fact that Rusev does not speak English. Like, I've thought about it a couple times because he doesn't really react to anything, and he really just sort of sat there and took it like, okay, whatever.
Well, the gentleman who plays Rusev definitely speaks English, but but in character, he was awesome. I thought that was actually really cool.
I liked the promo a lot. I will go as far as saying that based on my expectation leading into the highlight reel with Rusev, I didn't think it was me that entertaining, and I felt that it exceeded my expectations for The Rock's confrontation with him.
Oh yeah, this one was pretty good. You know, I'll just say this: the one thing, I'm not a big Rusev fan, as you know, but for the man who plays Rusev, for what he's being asked to do, he's getting as much as he possibly can out of this character. And he makes his matches look close too, which shows me he's a good worker. You know, swagger again. I mean, I was believing he was going to pull it off, and I predicted he would, and I was wrong. And I do like that Chris Jericho pointed out that Swagger let down his country again. But Rusev did find out from Jericho that there is a man in the back that wants to challenge him. And before that man came out, I have to say I didn't expect this. And everyone knows I'm a big mark of this guy. And when he came out, I gotta say I chubbed up beyond belief. Feed me more. The big guy himself, with big guy now written on his singlet, comes running down to the ring to confront Rusev. Rusev just stands out of the ring, will not confront him, and walks away. How'd you feel about that, Big Dick?
You know what? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but wasn't it about 2 weeks ago that Ryback lost to Rusev in about 3 minutes flat? I might have missed that Raw, but I thought it was no. Okay, who did Rusev? Rusev actually dominated somebody who was a previous contender to beat him. I don't think it was Swagger.
It wasn't Ryback.
Okay, for some reason I was thinking it was him going into this.
He got cheap shotted and beat by Rusev in the Survivor Series. But that was
not what I'm thinking. For some reason I thought that they wrestled on like Monday Night Raw, like right after Survivor Series. Okay.
No, this was a surprise. I was shocked, actually. I didn't think they would give him I don't think he's gonna beat Ryback, dude. No way.
I don't either. You know what I think is gonna happen to Ryback? I think that he's gonna win. He's probably gonna fight or Rusev's probably gonna fight Ryback at Survivor Series. Gonna win. Gonna beat some other scrub at Elimination Chamber or Fast Track or whatever it is now in February. And I think at WrestleMania, I think that him and Cena are gonna wrestle.
Possibly.
And Cena, because for some reason I just feel like Cena's good, but he needs to just pass the main event torch. And there's enough people who I think could hold that torch up right now. I mean, Roman Reigns, I think he's getting overpushed. Dean Ambrose, he's deserving of the push. Dolph Ziggler, very deserving. Daniel Bryan can come back. You have Sting, who's not going to main event it, but he's probably going to have a match. And, I mean, you have the possibility of somebody like The Rock coming back. I mean, just right there's 6 people who could either main event or have the other main event.
True.
At WrestleMania. So I think that Cena could be used as enhancement talent for Rusev. And I mean, he could lose a 15-minute match for Rusev and still come out. Or he can win a 15-minute match against Rusev and still put Rusev over as a dominant wrestler. That's the thing. At this point, I don't believe Rusev as a dominant wrestler. I think he's a good wrestler who's got a great storyline going for him because he can make anybody who's even, I mean, Chris Jericho, isn't he Canadian? He's not even American. And the crowd was fawning all over him. I mean, you put somebody like John Cena against Rusev, who's getting a fair amount of heat. I mean, shit. I think that it's not the main event. It's not the second biggest main event, but it's a way to finally end the streak, number one. And number two, probably push Rusev to new heights.
True.
Because Cena, as we saw tonight, he is hated by many, but he's loved by many. And he got a lot of props coming out and fighting Seth Rollins tonight. There was a pretty hearty John Cena or Cena chant going on there at one point.
Crowd was certainly hot. Now, you're right. John Cena passing the torch, so to speak. You know, think about it. Killer Kev, even here at Angry Marks, passed the torch to us.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, at some point, you got to know, hey, a little bit past my prime, and I need to hand the ball off to the next guy. Sort of like I felt like Jake Cutler was doing tonight, where
but what do you do when you pass the torch off to somebody and they fall asleep while they're holding the torch?
You know what? You call up none other than Chickenhead.
Chickenhead.
Yes.
Our response to the rabbit. Now let me just ask you real quick. Now, I know we just talked about the Rusev thing, but I do like that Ryback singlet just says big guy, not the big guy, it just says big guy. Like, is that like something like a onesie I would buy my child that says big, like mommy's big guy on it?
Angry Tensai, you should get a little for a singlet or a onesie that says big guy. Not the big guy, but just big guy.
Why does Ryback have that?
You know what? I think that him and Rusev need to have a match to determine who the biggest guy of them all is. Because I know Ryback he's a pretty big guy. Not gonna lie, he's a pretty big guy. But at the same time, we've all heard the rumors about Rusev's massive Coke-sized can.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to have once and for all who's the bigger guy.
Well, they're both pretty big. From there, let's talk a little bit about the old tag team division. Your New Day scored a win over Stardust and Goldust. It looks like the Ascension's going to debut very soon. And if you noticed where they placed it, they placed their promo right before the New Day came out. The one thing I was talking to Kev about on the air, or off the air before, is as excited as I am about the Ascension, it looks like WWE like changed their characters because they're dark and stuff and in NXT, and that they're acting like a jacked up LOD in that promo, which I thought was a little odd, but I guess they can't get here soon enough. But what'd you think about the New Day?
You know what? The New Day, they had an interesting promo. I forget if it was before or during their match, but there were actually a few things that caught my eye on at least the first half of Raw. They're really sort of threw me for a loop. The one thing, we'll start off with New Day. They delivered a promo backstage where they were all really happy, really stoked, really excited for a new day. And they were talking about Stardust and Goldust as, oh man, they're always negative, they're always whatever, they're talking about darkness. And they said, I think it was Biggie Langston, said, we're not afraid of the dark, which I thought was fitting. I thought was very fitting with the New Day. I think that they're bringing a light to WWE that you haven't seen before.
What?
That's what they said it backstage. They said they are not afraid of the dark.
So what does that mean?
I'll let you read into it a little bit, but I mean they were talking about that in regards to Goldust and Stardust, who always have such bleak and sort of questionable outlooks on things. So I feel like that was just a heads up that hey, the New Day, all positive things. You know what? They probably take Jay Cutler and make him look like a superstar.
I did like how JBL and Michael Cole kept asking them, what do they have to hide? And I don't know where that was going, but I really enjoyed that.
I'm sure they're hiding something. I don't know what it is.
I think they're going to steal from their congregation.
It could be naked pictures of Vince McMahon banging an intern.
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a congregation that he's stealing from. And it's weird. I'm getting these phone calls, like from this MJM Ministries. They just keep leaving voicemails, but it's like a recording. And this dude who's just super fired up about nothing is freaking out. And he's going, I must speak to you immediately. My brother, I must speak to you immediately. I have news that is imperative to your financial future and to help you. And I know you're going through hard times, and now's the time to talk to me. I need to speak to you immediately. And that's what I think of when I see the New Day.
You know what? I got a call from the same people. I gave my credit card information a couple weeks ago. I still haven't heard back from them.
Really?
No. So I'm looking forward to, I assume they want to wire some massive amounts of funds into my credit card account. So tomorrow I will be going on to my online bank statement just to verify that all those funds have come in. I think they said something along the lines of $10.7 million.
Yes.
Hey.
When you get those emails, it's like, oh my God, I mean, how lucky are you? You're going to be able to get $10 million in funds released to you. I know Killer Kev did one of those, and supposedly the funds are coming any day now, and I can't wait till he gets it. But he only put out $23,000 to get $10 million. I think it's a good deal.
That's a good return on investment, though.
Yeah,
very good.
Well, there was the signing fee, the check signing. So when he signed for the check, to release the money, Killer Kev had to put down $16,000, and he was okay with it. I mean, what fortunes. Speaking of which, Big Dick, it looks like the Usos Mizdow feud is going to continue. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
Usos.
Again, I'm a little thrown off by his division. We have the Usos wearing new face paint this week. We also have Goldust and Stardust wearing new face paint this week. It was sort of weird.
Yes. Why are they not letting us see heel versus heel tag team matches or face versus face?
Ascension, now, tell me this isn't weird. I don't know. I was flipping back and forth between football and Raw, but I saw, I think it was before football, on Sci-Fi Network, that they are debuting a show called The Ascension.
Huh.
Sure enough, I saw that commercial within about 10 minutes back on Raw, and I saw the promo for The Ascension.
No relation.
None. And I also saw Fandango in his new character, which is absolutely horrible. confronted by Chris Jericho. The next commercial break, I see a commercial for movie ticket distributor Fandango.
Fun bunghole. Jericho's awesome. Fun bunghole.
That was almost as good as the first commercial after the 30-minute intro where they talked in the ring about everything, where they advertised tomorrow's Super SmackDown as a way to find out if John Cena won his match yesterday.
Yes. Well, speaking of John Cena, the Bella Twins were on tonight versus Alicia Fox and Natalya. And I have to say, Nikki is getting more and more jacked, and the difference between the two is very clear. Do you love Nikki, Vic?
I would have children with me.
Now, after the match, Nikki got put into the sharpshooter and she tapped out in a very quick match. Did you notice Tyson King was on the outside trying to help Nikki Bella up? What did you think of all that?
You know what? I'd be pretty concerned. I'd probably push Natalya out of the way to help Nikki Bella up, too.
Are they going somewhere? Will they go somewhere with that?
Probably not as much of interference with John Cena and Nikki Bella as I'd like to see a match between Tyson Kidd and Natalya.
Oh, no. I hope they don't do that to Tyson. Kev, did you see that part of Raw where Tyson was trying to scam on Nikki Bella?
Yeah, I caught that. What is up with that?
I like it a lot. Will they let him get rubbed with Cena?
Oh, I don't know. I got a feeling somebody may be on
they
his
let
way
Zack,
down the
they
roster
let Zack
again.
Ryder again rub with Cena.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Tyson Kidd could actually work.
Yeah, but he's carried much further down the card than Zack Ryder back then.
Yeah, he'll be working his way through the unemployment line.
Yeah, but obviously that was in the script, so I wonder where they're going with it.
He can, on his MP3 player and his Beats headphones, he can just keep looping Cena's line, your time is up, my time is now.
I do like him with Beats at ringside. That is a nice touch. It works for him.
Yeah, he seems like he really loves music.
Yeah, he's a fan of music. I don't know, things are going pretty good for him. He's got Natalya.
He's banging Natalya. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's the man on it.
She's not quite Mickey James, but she's pretty sexy thick.
Yeah, but he's the man on NXT. Things are good. Tyson's alright. He's like one of the head trainers down there, right? I mean, things aren't so bad.
I think my favorite part about the Goldust, Cody Rhodes versus Usos match, it was Goldust Cody Rhodes versus New Day match, it was probably about a 15-minute match, and there were probably about 15 separate chants for various wrestlers. I heard JBL, Cole, King, CM Punk, I heard NXT as a chant.
That
was
really? That's awesome.
And I didn't think they ran out of things chant. It looks like NXT. Like, it's pretty good.
Dude, I have to say, I mean, it's still all WWE, but my God, was our Evolution so much better than TLC. It wasn't even close. But not everything that comes out of NXT is good. Speaking of which, Adam Rose, man, did Kane just destroy him in a WWE Superstar Saturday squash match. My Lord.
Not only that, but also we saw Pile Driver on the Bunny. How do you feel about that?
He got tombstone.
Well, actually, tombstone Pile Driver. That was pretty impressive.
Kane never uses tombstone, nor does Undertaker, unless it's like a really big time, like a big occasion. They really don't use the tombstone ever as their primary finisher because it's a dangerous move. I like that WWE decided that it was important for Kane to tombstone the Bunny. I have no idea why, but it was awesome.
I have a feeling that either the Bunny is going to come back in neck brace, or that is the last that we ever see of number 1, the Bunny, and number 2, Adam Rose. And they can go back down to NXT, Bo Dallas, and Tyson Kidd, and half of the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, I mean, not everything that's come out of NXT has succeeded, for sure. I mean, Adam Rose is not doing very well, and he's pretty much done. Bo Dallas, that didn't work. And, Bray Wyatt obviously did, but, the Shield was in Florida Championship Wrestling. I think the Wyatts were too before it moved over to NXT. So they were down there for a while. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I thought tonight was kind of cool because it shows you that, everybody on the internet, I think, kind of feels like just because somebody's coming up that you have to put them over. Like, that's bullshit. I mean, if Kane, Ryback are on the roster, guys like that, or even Big Show with Eric Rowan tonight, these guys gotta win. I mean, they're established legends. They shouldn't be jobbing on every single match. And Big Show 2 nights in a row put down Eric Rowan. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I think that's more leading into Big Show versus Roman Reigns, which they are sort of squashing Eric Rowan, who they tried their best to make interesting. But I can always see him getting involved in the tag division at some point.
Well, that's why I said that one Raw where they made him like the lead guy going off the air. It was a waste. They should have just used someone else. I mean, I guess they were trying to divert attention, but I mean, I don't know. I'm glad, although Ziggler and Rowan lost tonight, Ziggler still looked cool in the losing effort. Dolph's clearly going to go on to big things for sure.
Yeah, I just hope those big things actually involve winning a title as opposed to trading the IC championship for stints as the prior IC champion.
Yeah.
Like he's at the point where he's won it 4 times. I feel like they're at a point where they need to shit or get off the pot with him. Almost like one thing I liked with TNA is they had it with the X Division belt around. I think it was like around June. They had a time period where a big X Division pay-per-view. If you're the X Division champion, you can trade in your title reign for a shot at the championship.
Yep.
And I think that would be a cool thing to do in WWE at some point. Although I feel like there's too many ways to become the number 1 contender. I feel like every couple pay-per-views there's a match, or every couple Raws there's a match, and there's Money in the Bank when it's hanging out there. So, I don't know. I think it'd be a cool way if they help to make it all stepping stone. Well, like you said, title's been devalued such that it's just not believable anymore.
As I was texting you today, Dolph Ziggler should be not a guy, the guy. Like you said, everybody likes him. He might not have his stupid catchphrase, but you know what? He hasn't gotten boring after all these years, and he hasn't changed his character at all. He's the same character, and he's not boring. He's the perfect balance of really a great wrestler. And he doesn't have to be the number 1 guy, but like he should be in that mix. Like when you think about a couple years ago when it was Batista, Orton, and Cena switching the title back and forth. Yeah, Ziggler should be one of those guys that consistently is back in the title picture after he loses it or takes a few months. I mean, he's clearly like just awesome. I mean, there's everything about him. He's great. He loves the business. He's interactive with the fans. He's an awesome worker. He's good on the mic. He's got everything you need, and he knows how to tell a story in the ring. He's the guy. Yeah,
I think his biggest problem is he doesn't sell T-shirts.
That's such crap.
Yeah, but unfortunately, right. I mean, after Cena, that's what they're looking for. After Cena and CM Punk sold the T-shirts, sold the WWE action figure pops. Unfortunately, that's what they want in a main event player. Somebody who's marketable.
Yeah.
And I think they have such a hard on for Roman Reigns.
Let's talk about the main event now. We have a steel cage, Jericho booked. We have Mr. Seth Rollins versus John Cena. What'd you think?
I love this match. I really did. I thought it was well played on both sides. Loved the AA off of the top rope. And absolutely loved that. This match probably went on for 20 minutes before any outside interference. But after that 20 minutes, the person who came out was none other than Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And the crowd went ballistic. I mean, if the Big Show came running out, like, can you imagine? Oh, Jesus, let's head for the exits. No, it's Brock Lesnar walks out there, and everybody wants to see what's going to happen next.
Well, what happened?
Well, Brock Lesnar came into the ring. He hit Cena with a couple of German suplexes, 3 or 4, I believe, and hit him with the F5, and then stood up, took a good long look at Seth Rollins, along with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman stuck out his hand, and Seth Rollins gladly accepted that.
Yes, and I don't know why that happened, but it did catch me by surprise. Were you surprised by that yourself?
Yeah, this could be a new alliance there. I mean, I was reading or talking to somebody about this, but it seems like there's a lot of people now that the Survivor Series match is over, like Big Show and Kane, who don't really have a click to be. So I feel like they're probably going to force a couple of clicks, see what works, see what doesn't work, and take it from there.
Now, I don't like that Cena got dominated the way he did, because I have a feeling that doesn't bode well for Brock Lesnar at the pay-per-view.
Shit, you know what? I hope that's not the case. I don't want to see Cena in another freaking Raw main event.
It's like a joke. He's never going to lose to anybody, like, cleanly. Like, it'll never happen.
Possibly Brock Lesnar.
Well, he did. That was the one time, but I mean, you really think it'll happen again?
This is the third match between which Cena won one and Lesnar won one. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that Cena definitely can. What angle are you going for? Because the thing is, you're not.
Lesnar. It has to be Lesnar. Has to be Lesnar. Or else Undertaker lost the streak for no reason.
That's a good point. Lesnar retired, but I saw some pictures on Twitter today that make Undertaker look really, really fat.
I've seen some horrible pictures of Undertaker over the last year. He looks like he's 100.
He doesn't look like he's not gonna walk the tightrope. He'll be lucky to walk like the ring apron.
He's not gonna wrestle, I don't think, this year. I just don't see it.
I mean, this is still bad saying that. You know what? Maybe a Russell stay. I mean, Black's a slimming figure, and I mean, shoot, if you keep it interesting, keep it under 20 minutes, and hit all your spots for both of you, I think that's not a bad not a bad pay-per-view coming up if you do something like that.
Cena better take out his life insurance policy against Lesnar or get a good attorney for the lawsuit he's going to need to recoup his life earnings, because he won't be able to wrestle anymore. And hey, you know what? Maybe Extreme Tony from Angry Marks can come on here with legal help for Brock Lesnar. I miss Extreme Tony.
I miss Jordan. He was a good guy.
Jordan Garber. Yeah, I remember him. Hey, Kev, where's Jordan Garber at?
He's been out and about here, there, and everywhere. You can hear him 2-3 times a week on here.
So he's at a strip club right now. I get it.
I'm a big Jordan Garber fan. I have to say, as much as I love him, I was a little upset he backtracked on his comments about ESS Eric Sims, but I have to say it was the most venom that I've heard from anyone on our network outside of us ever, and I really enjoyed somebody else really giving us a piece of their mind.
You know what's really funny? You brought that up. Of course, people have no idea what we're talking about with ESS because we had to eliminate it out of last week's podcast. You had to listen to it live to know what we said about Eric Sims. But funny thing, I was in Walmart today doing some of my work, and over the intercom, I heard them page for Eric Sims to come get his package out of layaway.
It wasn't ESS, though, was it?
I have no idea. I mean, it could have been.
His what?
He had a package in layaway.
Oh, I thought you said for a pack and play. Eric Sims to layaway. Abdullah the Butcher is here for his signing. So let me ask you, Kev, who's on the world's greatest wrestling show this week?
This week, tomorrow night. Tonight, technically. The one, the only Jameson from classic WWF fame.
Jameson?
Yes, sir.
Who's Jameson?
You don't remember Jameson?
Vic, who's Jameson? Well, I know Jameson. Wasn't he the bulldog that they brought down in the ring, the British Bulldogs, after Matilda?
No.
They had Jameson after Matilda.
No, he was a manager for a little while.
Who do you manage?
Oh, I can't remember. That's too damn long ago.
Is Jameson a human or a dog?
Human.
Jameson? Vic, help me out here.
Oh, you're going to make me go look it up.
I'm going to put in WWF Jameson in Google here, and I'm going to see what comes up. I think Vic might be asleep again.
Let's see. Looks like,
Well, I remember this guy.
yeah.
He was Bobby Heenan's friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool interview.
Yeah, so that should be fun. Of course, you haven't seen him around for quite a while. He now works behind the scenes in WWE. And do you remember the Bray Wyatt promo where he brought that one kid out to confront John Cena?
Yes.
That is Jameson's son.
Really?
Yep.
I missed that Bray Wyatt messing with John Cena. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yes, he did. For a moment, anyway.
I feel like Vic has the whole world in his hands.
I don't know about Vic now. I have no idea where Vic went to.
He probably fell asleep.
Probably. So which probably means we need to get off the air.
It does. Well, you know what? Thank you everyone for tuning in. Killer Kev, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Nope. Watch listen to Undisputed Wrestling Show live tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Check out all the other shows we've done on the Angry Marks Podcast Network as well. That's it. That's all I got to plug. I'm done.
All right, man. Well, for Big Dick, the Killer Kev, and the Angry Tensai, we'll see you next week.